Stu Black here, HomeStudioBasics.com, and today we will be reviewing the Grado GS1000e. This is an open back headphone. It's circumaural, so it fits around your ear. It's got a frequency response of 8 Hz to 35,000 kHz, a driver size of 50 millimeters, a sensitivity of 99.8 decibels, and an impedance of 32 ohms. So, right off the bat, you're not going to need an amp for these. They sound great out of a phone, your mobile device, and I primarily use them with the Schiit Magni Modi. They don't sound quite as good out of your laptop. You'll need some sort of DAC, like a Firefly, Audio Quest, Dragonfly, and with the Schiit Magni Modi, because they're so sensitive and have such a low impedance, you only need to turn the dial at around 10 o'clock, if that. You're not going to have to push it past 11 at all. It's going to become too sibilant, and it's not really a con, it's just the fact that they're very sensitive and have a low impedance. But with these, just plug and play, although I did find the sound quality to be a lot better with higher quality source files and coupled with the Magni. So with ripped vinyl, you'll have to turn the volume up, but other than that, these are very sensitive and very crisp, but we'll get into that later. So, comfort. These guys are very comfortable. They're very lightweight. The pads are circumaural, but the foam padding, it's a bit awkward at first because it's not like a traditional headphone fits or feels. You very much, let's be honest, you look like a nerd with these on. I would highly advise you not to go outside. Yeah, look at that. I look like E.T. So, I read somewhere online that to get the best fit, like when you put these on, your ears will touch the driver, and it's not really uncomfortable, but you can, instead of having that happen, just push them forward until this back part hits your earlobe and the top hits the top of your earlobe, and you can wear them for hours on end. I really haven't had a problem with them regardless, but it's definitely a foreign type of feel. They're very, very lightweight, like I said, but the circumaural, these are the G cushions. Most Grados come with the L's, but this is what makes the GS1000e stand out, I think. Also, you can see right through them, which is kind of interesting. So they're very, very open, and this is even more open than a traditional open back. You're going to hear pretty much, they're like mini speakers almost. You can hear everything that's playing in pretty great detail. So, but yeah, so comfort I would say is very good. I didn't have to adjust them once. The only times I adjusted them is for differing reasons, like my ears itch or something like that. So, build is, it's a Grado again. I did a review of the 325e, and really not much has changed with this one. You're still getting the weird headband mechanism, which I'm having trouble with. There you go. It's just kind of, it's strange, but I feel like Grado should do something different as the price increases, but they didn't for whatever reason. These are a demo model from Audio Advice, so they've held up pretty well. So I can't really complain about that. The ear cups are made of mahogany, which is cool. It feels really cool. The headband has minimal padding, but because they're so light, you're not going to need it. The cable is really thick. As you can see, it splits off into a Y and goes into both ears. It's not detachable. And the interesting thing about these is they terminate in a 1/4 inch jack and come with a 3.5 millimeter adapter. So I would say build is decent. The ear cups rotate all the way around like they do with all Grado series. This is the E line, the Grado GS1000e. I've demoed just about every model from the E line. So yeah. How do they sound? This is where the fun starts for me, because I think Grado really got it right with this one. It's very expensive. It's about $1,000, but it reminds me a lot of an LCD3 by Odyssey. The bass is extremely realistic and articulate. I hear a lot of people complain about not enough bass. Well, I think they're just used to bass-heavy headphones and don't really know what bass is actually supposed to sound like. You're supposed to actually be able to hear what's going on rather than just feel it. Like I can hear I can hear every individual single note with these, which is pretty amazing, and it makes for an invigorating listening experience. Like with the LCD3s, they're very similar, and they have the personality of the music really comes out. You're able to hear more textures, more layers, instruments that kind of get muddied up. You know, like think of the sound like this. With most headphones, the sound is very layered on top of each other. With the 1000e, it's just like, yeah, it's that serious. The sound stage on these is phenomenal. You can hear stuff in all directions, down here, up here, up here. It's just a wider image, and I mean, at $1,000, it should be. It really should be. So, like I said, the sound really opens up. Instruments become clearer and more prominent, and background instruments especially take on a more revealing character. With the LCD3 and this one, I like to compare this to the LCD3 because I got the same sort of feeling. That the instruments and the music, it was like I was listening to it for the first time. It sounds very foreign, as if you're hearing it in a more raw, transparent form. I remember listening to Time by Pink Floyd, and David Gilmour's guitars sounded so real, so personable. It's like I got a glimpse into his soul, and this is the same way. You can really pinpoint and put a spotlight on any particular instrument that you want, which is awesome. You can dissect it and really understand its context and role in the song. And like I said, the music presents itself very raw and very alive. But they can be a bit sibilant, especially as you turn up the volume. But it's not a huge deal breaker or anything like that. Just turn the volume down a little bit. I like to listen to my music loud, so naturally I'm going to try and turn it up. But I've really learned to accept the fact that some headphones just aren't meant to be blasted, and this is one of them. So I just love the fact that you're able to discover sounds that were previously covered over as it opens up. I heard Extra Layers on Any Color You Like by Pink Floyd with Richard Wright synth. I've heard the song 1,000 times, but with these, it's almost like there were some added layers that I had never heard before. And the synth was able to breathe, and you could hear an added depth and precision to it. Sean's Homie, again, I always talk about that album because it's so well mastered. And of course, these headphones do great with anything rock, guitar oriented. You could hear extra sounds, extra guitars that you hadn't heard before. Yes, Starship Trooper by Yes. There's just an added sense of clarity, an added sense of depth. Grateful Dead's Touch of Grey. You can clearly hear an organ in the background. I think it's an organ. And it's around, it's after the solo, around the end of the song. It just becomes super clear and distinct. And of course, Pink Floyd's Money. We've all heard that song. It was much more detailed left to right. Like I said, when the sound opens up, you can hear the sounds of the guitars and the keyboards with much better precision and accuracy. In fact, you could actually, like I said before, you could pinpoint an instrument and just listen to that and listen to how it sounds and how the artist intended it to sound. So, yeah, I think I've pretty much talked about these ad nauseum. If I could say something I don't like about them, the cord is a bit bulky. The fact that it needs a 3.5mm adapter, and it will not fit into a phone with an OtterBox or like a large case. That said, you should definitely probably listen to these in an isolated studio environment with an amplifier of some sort. They're meant to be plugged into a better device. Other than that, that's really about it, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my growing channel. I could really use your support. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. Let me know what you think, what you would like to see in the future, what kind of reviews, comparisons, etc. And I will talk with you guys soon. Bye.